And yes, there you go. Good morning, everyone. Just to confirm, those who are joining via Zoom, can you send in a message? Good morning sa ating chat box just to make sure if everyone can hear and see me clearly. Good morning. Yes, good morning. Magandang umaga, maayong buntag in Bisaya, marhay na aga in Bicol. Yes, anyway, sorry. Just a short introduction. I'm Jeline Desacula, and I'll be hosting this Principles of Scaling for today. I'm currently the Chief Operating Officer of Ripple Kids Educational Services, Inc., and also one of the Circle multipliers of CEO Insights Asia. To those who are joining via Zoom, I believe you're quite familiar now what CEO Insights Asia is all about and what this Principles of Scaling is all about. But for the benefit excuse me, of those who are joining maybe for the first time via Facebook, we are CEO Insights Asia, and we are CEOs helping fellow CEOs build lasting companies. So if you're a CEO or a business leader and you'd like to build a company that leaves a very impactful and significant legacy, this may be an opportunity for you to really achieve that one. Get to know other people, other business leaders who share the same DNA or passion. Yes. And also, by the way, the fact that you're joining via Zoom or Facebook Live, you find value in this event or in this endeavor. So if you could kindly share via Facebook or any other social media that you have, social media platform, please share our Facebook Live or our Zoom link to those who know who may want to really participate. Yes. Anyway, now let me share a bit about CEO Insights Asia for further explanation, information. We install DNA principles to scale organization. And as shared by Surfa, our goal for today is for everyone, for you, to take away at least one key idea that you can immediately apply. So imagine something that you can immediately apply in your businesses or in your organization, your team, department. Little by little, you'll read really positive result. And now, all right, I cannot see my screen. Okay, yes, installing DNA principles. Now, before I continue to the next part, we have via Zoom, we have around 19,000 participants. I think these are those who participated in last night's CEO meetup. Tama ba? Kaway-kaway naman dyan. Did you participate via Zoom? To those who are in Zoom, did you participate last night? Okay, yes, present, sabi ni Coach RD and then Ma'am Chris. All right, yes. And for me, to share lang personally, I traveled from Cagayan de Oro pa to Tagaytay, the CEO meetup venue, and it was an exhilarating, exciting, refreshing experience for me. Although I am an introvert, but really, I enjoyed that kind of those kinds of conversations and that kind of meetup. So anyway, we will have more activities in CEO Insights Asia, so hopefully you can join those. Now, going on to the next part of our slide. Yes, our theme for the month is all about business model. And to be specific here, being methodical. So on to the next slide. Here's a brief overview of our weekly topics. And active yata yung mga tao natin sa Zoom. Sorry, cannot See everyone? Isa lang yung aking screen. Okay, just an overview of what we will be covering for the month of July. For week 1, we'll discuss more about the word experiment. For week 2, we'll discuss more about the word execute or execution. Week 3, examine. Week 4, explore. And week 5, experience. So experiment, execute, examine, explore, and experience. Exciting. Although hindi ko pa actually alam yung specific content ng bawat isa doon, but just knowing the sequence, itong weekly topics natin, na-excite na ako. So I'm pretty sure this is something you don't want to miss. All right. Yes. Now moving on to the next part. Here are some announcements, reminders. First is all about our circle meeting. Yes, we have here, for example, Sir Matt of Sellers Hub. He facilitates circle meetings every Tuesday, 11 a.m. And aside from that, moving on to the next slide, are other circle meetings simultaneously happening. So yes, here can we flash the next slide, which would show, for example, we have circle meetings for couples, and we also have circle meetings for all female and all male CEOInsight Asia members or multipliers. Yes, you can join one of those. And if you are interested via Facebook Live, if you're watching us via Facebook Live, I believe we are now sending the sign-up link for our circle meetings. Yes, please do. Just click lang yan and register na, input your information. And there you go. You'll be invited to one of our activities na. And sit and muna, you can gauge if it's something for you, and then later on you'll decide. But to share lang, personal experience ko once I signed up, there was no turning back. So nag-register ako, na-invite agad, very fast yung processing noon, actually text message, and then invited to a short orientation, like getting started. When I learned about the overview, the history, and the DNA of CEOInsights Asia, I knew it was the one for me. Taray lang, no? Parang the one. Okay, yes. Forever host by ito. All right. Ma'am Chris, natatawa to si Ma'am Chris sa background. Sige, anyway, now, done na tayo sa announcements and reminders, no? Okay, on to the next part is someone again, Sir Matt from Sellers Hub, who will share more about his experience.
Matt, and I am the advertising manager at Sellers Hub. And gusto ko lang i-share sa inyo yung experience simula nung sumali ako dito sa CEO Circle. Joining the CEO Circle made me realize na ang isang organization pala ay hindi lang siya dapat talent factory, kundi dapat isa din siyang leadership warehouse na kung saan yung mga teammates natin or yung workmates natin is nag-a-act na parang leader. And to remind you guys, leadership is equals to accountability, not responsibility. And kung gusto mong malaman kung paano matatransform yung organization mo into leadership warehouse, sumama ka sa amin sa CEO Circle meeting every Tuesday at 11 a.m. and Principle of Scaling every Friday at 10 a.m. See you there!
Okay. All right. I'm not sure if Sir Matt is joining us via Facebook Live or Zoom, but thank you so much for that testimonial. Yes. Okay. So one main takeaway for me dun sa video na yun is the word leadership warehouse. So to those who have or who are in the product industry, selling products, having a reliable and huge warehouse is very important, no? And kadugtungan pa ng leadership warehouse. So napaka impactful, and of course for us business leaders, it's important na we have reliable leaders in our organization, or we ourselves are reliable leaders. And if you have a leadership warehouse, just imagine the kind of impact, the kind of target achievement that will happen because of that. So anyway, yun lang nag-impact sa akin sa word na yan, new for me. Okay, now all right, sige. So on to the next slide, the last few parts na lang from me. Yes, again, for this week, for today's Principles of Scaling, our main topic is all about the word experiment. Again, for the month of July, theme is business model, and focus is being methodical. So here's the experiment part. Our expectation is for our viewers, joiners, participants here to have an idea how to launch one venture. So when we say a new venture, a venture, it is all about startup. And share ko lang yung personal insight ko about experiment. Experiments can be costly, lalo na if you're threading a very new environment. It can cost your time, your money, your resources, your talent. But if you can start something and then you already gained an insight from someone who tried it, I think that would be a lot better. Tama ba? Can all our Zoom participants relate? Yung parang may makukuhanan ka ng insights about someone who tried what you were trying to experiment on. And yes, with that, I believe our speaker, or not speaker, but faculty for today will be sharing more about this one. And so without further delay, fresh from our CEO meetup venue, I think very energetic pa din siya. I'm not sure 2 a.m. na ba? 4 a.m. na kayo natapos last night. Yes, and hindi daw siya mag-virtual background for today kasi gusto niya ipagyabang yung napakaganda niyang background. Yeah, so we have here one of the founders and executive advisor of CEOInsight Asia. And for me, this person is someone who really encourages. They may not agree with that term, but someone who really pushed me to my limit in my role with CEOInsight Asia. And for me, that really means a lot kasi yes, if you have that kind of person pushing you, encouraging you, talagang you will know na you can do a lot better than what you're currently doing. So with that, without further delay, here's Surfa, Mr. Florentino A. Hernando. A round of applause for him naman.
All
Virtual
right.
man.
Thank you
Yes.
so much, Jill. Paano ba yan? Paano ko susundan yon? Napakahirap. Good morning everyone. Pakichat naman dyan. Good morning if you can hear me clearly. Straight from the CEO meetup venue that happened today at 2 a.m. My goodness, itong mga seller sub-team na to na nasa taas, hindi nagpatulog. Okay, nag-shutdown na nga ako ng 2:00 pero dito pa sila nag-uusap. Kaya 3:00 na sila natulog at 3:00 na rin nakatulog. Anyway, good morning. Thank you so much, Jill. Thank you for the 23,000 participants na nandito sa Zoom at sa mga nanonood sa Facebook Live. Yan talaga. No excuses. Di ba? Kahit 3:00 sila Vane at si Jerome, galing pang yan. Green Hills, nag-book pa ng hotel. Jeline from CDO. It was a great event. I'll share something about that later. But formally introducing myself, once again, my name is Florentino A. Hernando. I'm one of the founders and executive advisor of CEOInsight Asia. And our purpose here in this ecosystem is to infuse ideas that build lasting companies. We want to learn together how to build our companies, our institutions into something that we can transfer to our children, our children's children, up to the next generation, 7th generation nga ang target natin. Right? So, huwag na natin patagalin. Agenda na tayo. Ano ba mga pag-uusapan natin for today? First, we'll have a conversation starter. So, yung mga walang sumagot doon sa aking question, anak ng patis. So, anyway, so I'll ask a few, one question about business model. So, kung pwede naman, paki-volonturo na si Chris na sasagot about business model. And then we'll do a brief history, a case study. And then we'll define what business model means. We'll understand why it matters. We'll throw in some facts, some figures. We'll talk about the fastest way to kill your startup. If you want your startup to die, eto ang gawin nyo. Okay? We'll talk about that, and then we'll talk about the hedgehog concept, and then we'll get practical. Yan. So, ready na ba kayo? Please type, I am ready. If you are now engaged to dive deep into our topic. Ayan, maraming salamat. So dahil sumagot ng I am ready si Chris, siya ang sasagot ng question na to. Conversation starter. Ma'am Chris, paki-ask to unmute si Ma'am Chris so she can answer this. Ma'am, floor's yours.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. My thoughts when it comes to business model is the structure of the business entirely that you will follow to operate. That's how I understand it.
All right. Sige, maraming salamat for that. We'll have a definition of business model mamaya. But for now, we want to talk about a very quick case study muna tayo para mas ma-appreciate natin bakit importanteng pag-usapan ang business model. Lalo na mostly last night and the viewers that we have right here, we are almost all startups. So a quick case study, brief history. So, ito sabi rito, the information superhighway. So, long before the technology required to build it, yung mga scientists and pioneers dream of coming up with something they call information superhighway. Right? And this information superhighway is a mechanized, searchable storage system of books and media and files and all. So, yun yung thinking long before the technology required it to build it. Medyo ahead of time yung pangarap nito. I think it was as far as Nikola Tesla. Ayan. So that's about 1800s, di ba? Early 1900s. They're thinking about building something like this. And then, ito yung definition niya. It's a mechanized, searchable storage system for books, media, files, and all. Right? Now, the first working prototype, fast forward na lang to, no, was funded by the US Department of Defense. And it was built in the 1960s. It was named ARPANET, or it's a abbreviation for Advanced Research Projects Agency Network, or ARPANET. But ARPANET, ARPANET allowed multiple computers to communicate on a single network. Yan. But on January 1, 1983, so that's what, 39 years old, researchers began to assemble the network of networks. So yung ARPANET, it allowed them for multiple computers to communicate to a single network. Ito, network of networks. And it is now the modern tool we use today. So ano ba tong ARPANET na to? We simply call this information highway as the internet. So the internet was born officially on January 1. The internet that we know right now was officially born January 1 in 1983. So why is this important to talk about this? Kasi yung susunod, the promise that didn't. Yan. Ito ngayon ang pag-uusapan natin. In the early 90s, na-commercialize na yung internet. Okay? So not only was it embraced, before internet was for the big computers, big companies na. In the 90s, alam ko inabot nyo to, huwag kayong di ba? Diyan na nag-start yung mga paggamit natin ng mga email for the masses. It was fully commercialized and accompanied by a bull market nung time na yon. Money was cheap because of low interest rates. Na bull market ang 1980s eh. At 1980s to 1990s, about 20 years. So, maraming pera ng mga panahon na yun. At dahil maraming pera, yung mga VCs, yung mga investors, they had plenty of money and was aggressively looking for the next big score. I have money, madali lang mangutang, hanap tayo ng company na pwedeng pag-investan. Now, the adoption of the internet, interest in technology and access to capital made it easy for investors to, like anything the company that has .com in it, investan natin yan kasi yan the next big thing. So that was what you call the tech bubble or the .com bubble. Now, because of this, valuations of companies were based on earnings and profit. Dig this, that would not occur for several years. Okay? Nagva-value ng company nung mga panahon na yon binavalue nila into millions yung mga company na wala pang profit, wala pang earning. Hindi pa nga sure kung nag-work yung business model. Companies that do not have revenue, profits, business plan, or even track record of performance, or even a product, wala pa silang product, talagang papel lang, they went public. And because of the hype, daming pera, bull market, .com to, it's the next big thing. Nag-invest ngayon, nag-public, wala pang product, wala pang track record of performance. Companies being started in garages, ayan. Because of this, nag-invest yung mga tao and it is now known as the internet bubble. By end of 2001, the bubble burst. So yung mga company na nag-public, ang daming nag-invest na pera sa kanila, hindi naman for sure yung business model, naubusan ng cash, they died. Okay? And because they folded, a lot of money, trillions of dollars of investment capital evaporated. Imagine that, no? So that's one thing. That's one thing. When you're investing, lagi nating sinasabi to. Pag mag-i-invest, now looking back, okay, 2020 hindsight, that's stupid, di ba? wala pang product, wala pang papers, mag-i-invest ng millions. And because of the mga influences of the VCs, uy, nag-invest si company A ng ganito dito. So mag-i-invest na rin ako dahil if it's good enough for them, siyempre, sino ba naman ako? Sila yung expert eh. So, being an individual citizen na may pera, mag-i-invest din ako ron. So, ganun yung nangyari. Because of that, it grew into a bubble. And then, dahil wala ngang working business model, diba, wala ngang product eh. Nag-fold yung company, the US lost trillions of dollars of investment. So, when you're investing, it's very important for that company to have a track record. So here's my summary, okay, of the dot bomb, known as the dot bomb era, investing ridiculously on promises and not on proven track record. This is the principle. Whether in business or in life, personal relationship, talk is cheap. Diba? Ako sinasabi ko nga I listen to what people say, but I believe what they do. Because seeing is believing. Yes? Please type yes if you can still relate with me. Yan. So, yung mga sa mga ladies natin dito, kahit sino, papangako sa iyo ang buwan at ang araw at ang universe. Pero ang titignan natin, yung track record. Diba? Talk is cheap. Huwag tayo puro hype. Mga hype. Diba? Huwag puro ganon. Tignan natin yung track record kasi madaling mangako. Kahit ako, kaya kong ipangako Pero ang tanong, di ba, meron ba akong track record? Yun ang kailangan natin tignan. And that was what happened in the internet bubble. Because they have an idea. Okay? It wasn't even proven yet. Wala ngang product Nag-IPO na, nag-public na. Invest kayo sa amin. Di nag-investan naman kahit because of the hype, nag-investan doon. Ano nangyari? Pumutok yung bubble. Right? So far, so good. Please type so good if you're with me. Yan. Para alam kung nandiyan pa kayo. Sa mga Facebook na nanonood sa atin, please chat so good if you're still with me. Okay. So let's define. We talk about business model. What is that? Okay? What is business model? So sabi ni Chris, it's something that guides you in how you operate. Yes? So business model, ito yon. It's a blueprint of how a company highlighted on the two words na naka-red. Please type it down. Yan, para makita ko may engagement, pakitype yan. Ano daw yung nakapula na two words that starts with letter C? It is how a company creates and captures value. A company must create value for it to be valuable, di ba? Para may silbi siya. If we're not creating value, we're going to fold as a company. But most importantly, hindi lang naman create. Dapat nakaka-capture din natin yung value na kine-create natin so that we can sustain yung business natin or yung enterprise natin. So it can't be just creating. Hindi rin naman pwedeng capture ng capture, walang kine-create. Huwag ganon, di ba? Huwag puro kabig. Di ba? Magbigay naman tayo. Okay. So yan, may hugot ako. Okay. So, but in simplest terms, this is how I define business model. A way an institution is organized to make money. Now, it's very important. Sa CEOInsight Asia, we keep talking about this. It's not about the money here. True, and I said that last night. It's never about the money, why we do what we do. But that doesn't mean we don't want money. We want to make money, lots of it, so that we can fund our institutions and our enterprise para ma-sustain. Kasi hindi pwedeng puro pangako lang ang pambabayad natin ng kuryente. Kailangan natin ng pera. Diba? It goes in business, it goes in marriages, it goes in life. I've been married for 7 years and we've been together for 11 years. Diba? And I tell you, diba, pag may pera, nababawasan ang problema. Kahit pa mahal na mahal ko ang asawa ko, alam niyo yan, alam ng buong mundo yan. Nagkakaroon pa rin ng tension if mga season na when we were starting na wala kami, di ba? Kahit pag gaano ka pagmamahal ng isa't isa, pag nawawala ng pera, nag-aaway yan. Mag-asawa na yon. Paano pa yung mga business partners? Diba? So it's very important that a company makes money, but that's not the entire point why we do these things. It's just one of the targets that we do. It's all about impact, right? Yes, please. You're still with me? Please type yes if you are still engaged. Yan. Salamat kay Jobs. Salamat kay Mia. Teacher Brish, shout out. Andito si Teacher Brish. Yan, kaklasiko yan. May preschool yan. Diba? So, anyway, so as we move on, why does it matter? Why do business models matter? Why are they important? Well, three things. It starts with letter P. Diba? It's a playbook. Okay? If you have a model of how to make money as a company, it makes things more efficient. Diba? Kasi alam na natin kung anong gagawin natin eh. So we have a playbook. It makes us much more efficient as an organization. As an organization, efficiency is one of the key factors for profitability. Diba? Hindi natin pag-uusapan gaano karami ang papasok sa atin. Okay, it's not how much money we create. It's how much money we capture. Remember, 'di ba? Hindi tayo gross sa company. Yung net profit ang pinag-uusapan natin. Laki nga ng gross mo, laki rin naman ng cost mo, diba? O hindi ka naman profitable. I was working with one CEO, not working but asked me, I talk about the numbers. How much ang kinita mo? It's in the millions. Magkano na-capture mo? Red nga kami ngayon eh. Parang sabi ko, you're not a millionaire. Kasi may loss ka eh. So you didn't earn millions, diba? You lost millions. So it's not just about creating value, it's about capturing value. Okay? The second is there's processes. If you have a business model, there's a process. And if there's a process, it's scalable. Yan. Shout out sa kaibigang oso natin, sila Nani at si Charles Goss. Nandito kagabi yan, no? Genesis. They're all about business processes. Yan ang nila, yan ang kumbaga strength nila, yan ang forte nila. We were blessed with a lot of insights. Ayan, kaya sa natin, sa partners natin from Genesis, no? Shout out sa inyo. Ayan. So it's all about if you have a process, it can be scalable. You're not depending on one person. Okay? Kasi pag nawala yung tao, patay. But if you have a business model, there's a process, kahit mawala yung tao, tuloy-tuloy lang. Kasi nandun na yun. And the third one, it's a proof. Diba? It's a proof that you can make money. Hindi lang pangako. And if you have a business model and it's working, it will dictate, should I pivot or should I continue performing this? Yes? So far, so good. How much time do I have? Ayan, I still have time. Okay, so the 3 Ps, you have a playbook, you have processes, and you have proof that your model is working so you can perform continuously, or it's not working, pivot tayo. So it's very important that you have a business model. So some facts and figures. Let's throw in some data. Okay, death rate of startups. Yan, para makarelate tayo. 50% of startups and small businesses, they die in the first 4 years. Okay? Yan ang death rate, kalahati. So if we have 100 companies na nag-launch ngayon, sooner or later 50% of them will die. Some dapat mamatay kasi wala namang sense yun. Some is because we'll talk about that later kung ano yun. But this is the death rate, okay? 30% they fail in the first 2 years. So if you're running a company and it's more than 4 years, congratulations. Diba? You survived the first level of death rate. Okay? But ito, 66% fail within 10 years. So ganyan na yung mga that's over half ang natitira within 10 years. Okay, so why? Ito yung mga reason. 82% of businesses failed because of cash flow problems. Shout out kay Ma'am Chill, nag-share na ito kagabi sa cash flow, 'di ba? Si Nani rin, and si Charles Goss, nagbigay sila about cash flow. Diba? So they fail because they don't know their numbers. If you're a startup, you have to know your numbers. And I keep saying this. People, I was talking to one kagabi. Sabi ko, what's your number? Meaning, how much your revenue? How much is your cost? Magkano na kukuha mo, natitake home mo every 15 days or every month from your operations. So 82% don't know that. Kasi startups, ako, all about building lang. Diba? Passion. Saka na yung profit. Hindi. Kailangan, you need to know how to be profitable so that you can survive. Right? So 82% they fail because of cash flow problems. 29% fail because they run out of cash. Kasi nga hindi alam ko paano nakakapera yung company. Hindi alam ko saan napupunta eh. So they fail. Sayang, di ba? Sayang. Kasi dahil they don't know how to manage their finances. 18% fail because of pricing and cost issues. Diba? You have to find yung sweet spot ng pricing natin. 17% fail because they lack a business model. They don't know how the company makes money, how to operate yung cash flow, and so on. So far, so good, heavy. Ayan. Welcome to CEOInsight Asia. Please type okay pa ako if you are still following this. Yeah. Yung mga sellers of na bangag pa sa taas, nakikinig pa. Okay pa sila. Okay pa sila. Bumaba si Mark dito. Kawa. Okay. Ano pa ba? Success rate. Ito na maganda. Let's talk about positive. 18% of success rate if it is a first-time entrepreneur. Now, the next is 20% if the previous startup is a failure. You started something, it failed. The second startup, 20% success rate goes up if you have a failed startup, meaning you have experience na. And then 30% if the previous startup was a success. Now, the beauty of this is the more you do it, the more you get better at it. Okay. Right. So, ito yung mga bagay. How to kill your startup. Gusto natin pag-usapan yan. Ano ba ang mga bagay na pinaka mainam na paraan para sunugin natin ang pera natin pag nagtayo tayo ng negosyo at sayangin natin ang oras natin at ng mga investors? Tatlo lang yan. The first one, huwag kang gumawa ng business model. Yan ang mga sakit ng mga from employment. And this is we were having this conversation kagabi, sila Ma'am Oda, sila Chris, sila Ma'am Chill. And ang sabi nga ni Ma'am Chill kasi most of the people who started the business, they came from employment. Okay? When you're an employee, you just think about doing my work. When you're a businessman, you have to think of the entire business. Marketing, building teams, finances, diba? Operations, and so on. So that's something that we need to understand. No business model. The second is they scale prematurely. Nagkapera lang konti. Okay? Nag-hire na ng 10. Hindi ganoon. You have to pace the scaling, hyper-growth. Kasi yun yung thinking, uy, naging successful ako. I must be doing something right. Okay? So expand tayo, keep repeating it. That's scaling prematurely. Okay? You have to pace. Ang sabi nga natin, the more successful you become as a startup, the more paranoid you should be until you find a business model that you mastered already. Be careful. You have to have the discipline to leave, quote-unquote, growth on the table. Ayusin muna natin, stabilize muna natin yung system. Stabilize muna natin yung business model. Huwag muna tayo mag-scale kagad. Kaya lang, yun nga pag nakatikim ng konting success, parang feeling nila Midas. Diba? And it happened to me when I started one of my ventures early 2000. I thought everything I touch becomes gold. Midas touch, diba? Nangyari nga to, nag-grow nga to eh. Diba? So, sige, keep growing. And then I got hit by a lot of factors. I wasn't able to sustain it and I had to fold it. So, scaling prematurely. The third one is starting with the wrong people. And we'll talk about that more, but largely, ang recommendation ko, when you're starting a business, you don't want to start it with a friend. Okay? Kasi business, sabi nga ni Nani kagabi, may mga season di ba? Sa Pilipinas, may dalawang season, rainy, sunny. Okay, sure na mangyayari yan. Ganon din sa business. Di ba? Hindi always growth. At hindi rin always drought. Okay. Now, pag magkaibigan, di ba, naging successful, di ba? Pagka nag-start magkaibigan, walang pera pa, hope pa lang yan. Oh, we're gonna make something. Okay lang yan. Pagka nagkapera na, usually, not all, usually, ang nangyayari, naghahanapan na. Diba? Anong contribution mo? So it's very important that you start with the wrong people. Now, for me, maybe I'm a different person. But as much as possible, I don't want to risk it kasi I value our friendship. So if magiging business lang ang magiging dahilan para hindi tayo magka-problema tayo, let's not delve into business. So and family members. Ayan. So as much as possible, I'm not saying don't do that. As much as possible, if you have other options, you want to start a venture with someone you have the same values and the same desire to build something. So yan. Okay. So para may image lang tayo, fastest way to kill startup, no business model, scale prematurely, wrong people. Okay. And siguro in the future now we'll talk about that. Just because someone is the wrong people today doesn't mean they'll be the wrong people forever. That's why you have to journey together. Right. Okay, so if you're and this is something that we talked about last night. Kung kayo naman mag-partner, kayo mag-asawa, and you're starting a business, all the more na you become part of CEOInsight Asia because we have here models of businesses that are being run by partners that they're very okay. So we want to learn how they're doing that. Okay? At yun ang gusto natin. Nandiyan sila, syempre, ang model natin, sila BK and Giant, sila RD, at saka sila Stacy. So, we want, we have Mel and Marvin. Yan. So, we want to learn how they're doing it. Building a business together as partners, together. Si Frank at si Atria, mas magaling si Atria kay Frank. Okay. So, let's talk about, we talk about how to kill your startup, the fast way to kill your startup. So, ano ba ang dapat gawin? If you're creating a business model, what's the guide? Okay, what's my time? Kaya pa? Habol pa? So far, so good? Ayan. In-announce. Sorry about that. Please type so good if you can still follow. Para alam kung nandiyan pa kayo. Ang bango naman nun. Ayan. Salamat, Ate Aids, ang ating cook for here. So mga kaibigan natin sa Seller Sub, baba na kayo. Ang bango dito. Anyway, yeah, so good. So now we talk about how do you come up with a business model? Okay, what's the best way to come up with a business model? Yung mga guiding principles. There's a book entitled Good to Great, which you always hear about me, hear from me rather, and I tell you to read it. And my goodness, di ba? Bumili kayo ng libro, meron sa Shopee, meron sa Lazada, di ba? Sabayan nyo na rin ng coffee cleanse pag nag-Shopee kayo, at ng Poligo, at ng gandang Korea. Sorry, nag-plug. But buy the book. Okay, read it. And there's a chapter there, it's called Headshot Concept. So ano ibig sabihin nun? Headshot concept is an intersection of three circles. Okay, the first one is passion. What do you love to do? Okay, what are you excited about? What's something? Hello, AJ, shout out. Okay, director of partnerships natin. What is it that we love to do that we keep doing it even though we don't get paid? So you have to understand that. The second is, what am I good at? Okay. What are my God-given skills na I can be the best in the world at? And the third one is profit. How do I make money out of it? So you have to understand those three factors. As a company, ano bang excited tayong gawin? Second, what are we good at? What are we really good at? The third, how do we make money out of this? Okay. And yung intersection between the three is what you call the headshot concept. Kailangan tatlo. There has to be passion. Diba? Kasi if you're passionate about something, you make money out of it, there's profit, and you're good at it, but you're not passionate about it, ang tawag doon, curse of success. Diba? Kasi you're being successful at something that you don't like, you absolutely hate. That's a curse. Sakit sa ulo nun. Kasi ayaw na ayaw mo yun, pero ang galing mo ron. So it's not gonna last. The second thing naman, kung passionate ka ron, pero hindi ka naman magaling doon, okay? At hindi ka kikita ng pera doon, ang tawag doon, hobby. Okay? Kasi no one will pay you to do that. Like for me, my hobby is music. Kasi I'm not that good. I'm bad. I'm bad at music. But I like it. But it doesn't like me. So no one is paying me to perform. So it's not really sustainable. Okay? So it's very important yung tatlo. Meron kang passion, you love doing it, you're very good at it, but you don't know how to make money. Hindi sustainable, hindi magiging sustainable yung enterprise. So it's very important na yung tatlong yon magkaroon, mag-intersect sila. Okay? So that's how do you find that? Experiment. Okay? That's why that's the theme for this episode. You experiment your business model. Okay? So summary. So far so good. Please type headshot concept if you are still following me. Okay? So passion, what you love to do. Performance, what you can be the best in the world at. This is your natural skill set. This is it's so natural to you. Hindi mo na kailangan pilitin. Parang every time you do it, you get better at it and you love doing it. So this is something that you want to listen in pag sa'yo, no? And then third is how you make money from it. So the intersection of the headshot concept will help you understand how to be someone who will become good, to become great. Okay. Right. So let's get practical. Uy, maaga ako. I still have 20 minutes. Okay. Ano ba ang mga steps? Diba? The first step in creating a business model is envision. Okay? Ano ba ang gusto kong mangyari? And then, what am I good at? What am I passionate about? Tapos paano ko pagkakaperahan to? Okay? So, for example, sa akin, I'll use my personal example. For me, I love communicating. I love teaching. That's why I became a teacher. But it's not, I have to find my audience. That's why it took an experiment. I love teaching. I'm good at simplifying things. People say that. It's so natural for me. Parang fish in the water ako ron. Hindi ko alam na hindi pala normal yon. I was talking to Paolo. Oy, shout out, nandito sila label. I was talking to Paolo the other day. Sabi ko, what's my value to you? Sabi niya, you simplify things. Sabi ko, hindi ba dapat ganon? Pero sabi niya, no, scattered ako. That's your skill set. That's what you're naturally good at. You're good at simplifying concepts. So I love what I do. I love teaching. I can simplify things. And then how do I make money out of it? I went into talking about business, executive advisory. So nag-intersect siya. So right now, I'm a head job. People say you're very good at what you do. Yes, because I don't do other things. This is what I'm a head job. I only know one thing, and that's to do executive advisory. I don't know music. I don't dabble in music. I don't do other stuff. Si RD kanina nagtanong, sabi niya, ano yung startup culture? Sabi ko, it's my clothes shop. Okay? So I didn't know how to do that. So nag-fold siya. Di ba? Yeah, we're still waiting for that. So yun, I don't dabble in things that I'm not good at. Right? So envision. Now you have a framework. You have this 3 intersection. The next is execute. Okay? You will never know a business model will work until you do it. Okay? We always say this in this ecosystem, market is king. Kahit pa feeling natin ang ganda ng business model natin, ultimately, pag walang bumibili, wala talaga. Huwag nating pagpilitan. Sila ang magdidikta kung working ang business model natin. Hindi. Paano? Pag bumibili sila. Pag nagbabayad sila. Diba? That's the ultimate validation of an effective business model. May nagbabayad. Okay? So, you execute, and then, after that, you try, on a small scale, wag malaki. Diba? Ganun yung nangyari sa internet bubble. Hindi pa tested and proven yung business model nang hingi na ng pera. Ang laki na kagad, di ba? It's just a promise. It's just an idea. It's not a proven concept yet. And because of that, we lost trillions of dollars than the 2000. Right? So you execute it on a small scale. Parang sa e-com, you test a winning item. And if it's working, then of course, after nun, evaluate. Did it work? Why did it work? Diba? Is it ano lang? Is it a one-trick pony? Or it worked? Bakit siya nag-work? Kasi ganito, ganyan. So, in the evaluation phase, you refine it until you find it. Okay? So, here's an image I want you to take home. Envision, execute. When is the best time to execute a business model, an experimentation? Please type it down. When is the best time? Alam nyo ang sagot dyan. Kasi isa lang naman ang sagot natin dyan. Yes, yesterday. If you have an idea, execute it yesterday. But small lang small. Yung something you can afford. Huwag naman sangla mo yung buong bahay, di ba? Huwag ganun. Or sangla mo yung buong kumpanya. Okay? So, execute on a small scale and then scale. Okay? Execute. After that, don't forget to evaluate. Okay? That's why important ang business reviews. Every 7 days, you look at did it work? Why did it work? You understand, bakit siya nag-work? And then you extract the principle. Kung hindi siya nag-work, bakit hindi siya nag-work? And then most importantly, now that we know this information, anong kailangan nating gawin to try it again? And then you envision again, and then you execute. Now that is what you call a flywheel. So far, so good. Please type so good. I still have 5 minutes before I will close. You're still with me? Yes? Ayan, parang hindi puyat, no? Ganun tayo, ginusto natin ito Diba? So I have no excuse not to do this. Diba? Kasi ginusto ko to. So yung mga nandito kagabi at wala ngayon dito, anong excuse nyo? Anyway, sige, moving on. Okay. In closing, this is my closer. Okay. We talk about a brand new series about business model. It's all about being methodical. Okay? And being methodical in this ecosystem, we manifest an insatiable drive to be better. Unquenchable thirst for knowledge, hindi mapawi-pawing pagkauhaw to get better, to improve. That's who we are here at CEO Insights Asia Ecosystem. And the proof of that was last night. Last night, man, we have Jeline and Chris flying from Cagayan de Oro to become part of last night's event, CEO Meetup here in Tagaytay. We have from the north, sila Mel, na galing pa sa Mars, di ba? Sila, yung host natin, si Diane at si Princess, shout out sa inyo, na kahit may day-to-day operations, na organize pa ito. Because this is an event where we will constantly get better. And I was looking at the landscape kagabi, no, sa ano lang yan, snapshot lang yan. Later, i-share natin yung mga pag na-collect na natin lahat ng photos. I was assessing at the number of companies. We have Top Yugo, we have Genesis, we have the ECAP Association, E-Commerce Association of the Philippines here. Sino pa ba? Ang daming companies basically. And I was looking at the valuation of the company. Pag sasama-samahin yun, it's around billions. And sabi ko, imagine that value that what do you need to do? You just show up. It's not really just, it's an investment, diba? So people here, diba? People here display an attitude of getting better. So we have no excuses. Kung saan pa kami galing to be here. I'm from Bicol. I have a lot of events coming here. Later, pupunta mga sa Sellers Hub to do town hall. But the point is, we want to constantly get better. And that's the kind of people you want to surround yourself with. Yeah. Because you are not just the average, but you are who you surround yourself with. And if you want to get better, you want to surround yourself people who help you become better. Someone you idolize. Someone that you want to become in the near future. So that's the core values here at CEO Insights Asia. You want to know how to get better as a business model, you can ask. It's free. No one will charge you. But consultants nga, you pay hundreds of thousands of dollars to get information. Ito, you get to do it for free. Anyway, so as I close, this is my si Steve Blank. Steve Blank, he's an author of a Stanford professor, thought leader behind the lean startup movement. At ito yung sinabi niya, let's not mistake startups. Sabi niya rito, startups are not smaller version of big companies. Startups are temporary organization designed to search for a repeatable and scalable business model. When you're starting something, you are experimenting. Okay? The large corporations, they are already executing because they already have a proven business model. I-execute na lang yon. Sa startup, lalo na pag 1 year, 2 years ka, ang thinking kasi, one day if I keep doing this, magiging ganito ako. No, that's not automatic kasi once you have to find first your business model. And once it's working na, then you execute. But you have to explore. You have to experiment. You have to try. So startups and large corporations are two different animals. Okay, they're not. That's just a smaller version. So with that, as you go home, as you end this, as we end this session, think about your company. Right? What is your business model? What are you passionate about? What are you really good at? And how are you making money of it? And then from there, test it out in the market and then refine constantly. Yes! And with that, I will now give the floor to, andito ba si Mel? Wala si Mel. Ayan, galing ng Mars. Okay, so I will be giving siguro si Chris to si Frank rather. Frank, ikaw muna rito. And then si Coach RD, key insights as we end this session.
Hello. Sorry. Sobrang ganda sir. Thank you sa na share and naturo mo sa amin. Siguro pinaka key insight na nakuha ko dito was yung quote na huli mong sinabi na startups are just temporary organizations that are searching for a repeatable and scalable business model. Kasi talagang when you start something up, hindi talaga yun 100% sure na yun yung magiging scalable na business. So you experiment, repeat, and ayun, and saka ka makakahanap ng ng scalable. So yun sir, yung pinaka tumatak sa akin. Thank you.
All right. Sige. And Coach RD, ikaw.
Hello, good morning. Yeah, for me, ito ring quote na to, yung talagang tumatak for me. And we have this conversation before mag-start tong principle of scaling. Most entrepreneurs sometimes confused kung ano ba yung difference ng startup sa talagang mga company na and all. And one of the major difference I believe right now is the business model. Diba? So for some, madalas naman natin naririnig business model. For some, the concept of business model for them is systems or kung paano ginagawa yung operations. But may sinabi ka, Sir Fa, na nung mga nakaraan pa may sinabi ka sa akin na ang business model is how you create money. And we also have a conversation with Steve C. And isa sa nakita ko what makes him excellent, ang tinatanong niya talaga how you make profit out of your business. And we know for a fact na ang profit is a fuel for our businesses. So major takeaway ko for this when we talk about business model, you experiment until such time na lalabas ka ng pagiging startup. And you will come out more mature, and dun pa lang magi-start talaga yung fight mo as a business talaga. And for some, I remember yung one of the sa mga later chapter ng Built to Last, yung parable nung black belt.
Yeah.
So there was this maganda siya, magba-black belt na siya. So hihingi lang siya ng ng parang i-award na sa kanya, ibibigay na sa kanya yung black belt. Pero tinatanong siya nung master na bakit mo deserve to. And sinabi niya dahil nakuha niya na yung mga kailangan niyang gawin. And series of every year, pinapabalik siya until such time na na-realize niya na kung ano yung gustong sabihin sa kanya ng master niya. Sabi sa kanya ng master niya, sabi niya is naintindihan niya na this is just a start. Kumbaga yung pagiging black belt is start of a new chapter. And for us, ganun din. Startups, most of us start up right now. Pero once we understand kung ano talaga yung business model natin, doon talaga mag-start. And paano tayo makakapunta doon? We innovate, we experiment, we try. So there might be shortcut, 'di ba? Joining principle of scaling, 'di ba? Joining meetups katulad nung ginawa kahapon, 'di ba? For me, kanina. Sorry. Yung mga ginawa natin until 3 AM, grabe. Shout out kay Idol BK, grabe. Yung mga ganon, grabe yung mga usapan. For me, that's one of the shortcut. Kaya kung di nyo ginagawa yun, gawin nyo na. Sayang, daming nawawala. But then again, 'di ba? There's no other way for us to exit the startup phase than to innovate, than to experiment, and then trying. Yun lang, Sir Fa. Thank you.
All right. So we got for the 24,000 viewers natin ngayon sa Zoom at saka sa Facebook. Thank you for joining us. Next week, we'll talk about execution, yung second phase ng business model, di ba? So I guess that's it for us. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your weekend and blessings to everyone. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.